it up. We're gonna speak on how we feel about both our situations from perspectives of us being who we are. Me being a black 17-year-old in America, him being a white 18-year-old in America. We're gonna speak out of how we feel. We're gonna speak out of what we've seen, and we're gonna speak out of what's happening in the world today. Shoot, I'm not one to back down. So the comments, y'all do y'all's thing. I'm focused on this conversation that we having. So y'all go ahead. But what's up, bro?
What's up, man? How we can finally sit down and have a conversation.
Most definitely.
I know people don't want you to keep the comments on, bro, but ultimately that's their decision, man.
Yeah.
They want to comment, they can do that. So just me and you conversation.
Yeah.
I mean, how you been doing? This time's kind of rough, dude.
I'm ready to get out the house, for real, for real. I'm ready to get out the house. I'm ready to get back to work, and I'm sick of being stuck in the house. What about you?
Dude, I'm the same. But let's go ahead and get right into it. So you have some questions that you wanted to ask, or if anything I feel like I need to clear up. Is that what you were saying?
So let's go ahead and start off with let's explain your I'm not even gonna say viral yet, your almost viral post of that you posted yesterday, your inner thoughts that you had going on. So go ahead and let us hear what it was that you were thinking in that time when you posted it.
Let's go ahead and dive into the misconception.
Mm-hmm.
The misconception and how it was misconstrued to begin with. Mm-hmm. So a lot of people that privately message me with death threats, with threats to my home, threats to my family, that type of thing. But ultimately, the biggest misconception and what I have going on with these people that are saying all these things is that everyone believes that I think that the Black Lives Matter movement is not okay and that it shouldn't be happening, and that I'm a racist and that I don't believe that the killings of innocent black males and females is wrong. That's the biggest misconception that I'm getting, is that people are thinking that's what I'm saying, and that's not it at all. I mean, you and I talked about it in the sense that we talked and we sat down and we came together in the sense that we are all equal when it comes down to one thing, man, and that's how, not the color of our skin, not our socioeconomic status, but ultimately how we view each other and how we should in God's eyes. You know what I'm saying? And for me, that's what I base my worldview off of. Not based off the skin, not based off of that type of thing, but ultimately at the end of the day, it's about what should I do to God's creation as human beings, you know? Because
so like, as you say, based off your opinion, you hit on a lot of things that, like, so our whole focus of it is, do you understand the whole point of the Black Lives Matter movement? Like, do you get why? I'm not even gonna put words in your mouth right now, but do you understand what's happening in the world right now?
I understand what people's opinions are on why they're doing what they are doing. Yes, completely.
Mm-hmm. Because the whole thing of the movement and what people, we get confused, or we look at it and we'll be like, okay, wait a minute, did he just say what I think he said? Is when we hear about, like, oh, you bring your statistics in, it's like, oh, well, black people make up this amount of the population. Mm-hmm. They get killed this amount, but then why are we being it seen like this? So when I heard it, I was hearing your statistics, and I was like, okay, now I hear the math. But when I look outside in the world, it doesn't line up, because I know what's true, but I also know what I live in. And so our opinions can become different in that sense, because it's like, all right, when I go outside, when I get pulled over, or when I see the video of George Floyd, I automatically think about my father. I automatically think about my little brother. I automatically think about my big brother. When I think about the video of Breonna Taylor, I already think about my mama. And because I'm black, I have that. But because I think you're white, that's where it can come in as, okay, maybe I didn't understand what was happening. Maybe I didn't understand what was saying. You feel me?
No, I feel you completely, because as a black man with those experiences, you have that right to feel that way. You have that right to be outraged. You have that right to speak out on that type of platform that you use. In no way, shape, or period, as a black man, are you not allowed to do and speak out and petition and sit here and peacefully protest, because by your First Amendment right, you're allowed to do that. Okay? But on the same token, as a white male, the misconception is that I I don't face any kind of racism, and I don't face any kind of different stuff from different people. When in reality, the way I grew up and where I lived, how it affected how I view that type of thing.
Okay. So how do you view it? So tell me that, because it affected how.
A lot of times that people are like, black people cannot be racist, and
Mm-hmm.
a lot of the different arguments for that is a lot to do with like empowerment and that type of thing. And in a lot of cases, that is completely correct. Black people cannot be racist if it is in a situation where they have no power. However, growing up in an all-black neighborhood as an only white kid, being picked on because of my views as a white person, and being beat up over it, and having to literally have to move neighborhoods because of how often that I was getting basically bullied. I grew up with a different view on racism and how that works. Now, you as a person probably have a different completely view, and our opinions and how we grow up shapes how we view that type of thing.
Definitely. So because our opinions shape how we view different things, I think that's why it's important that we must understand, like right now in the time that we're going on, people aren't going to react the same way. People aren't going to do the same things. But when a post is made and people, you know, it's like all red flags. Because you don't understand, or because we have different views, it's like it's a sensitive time. And when you have a sensitive time, every topic is sensitive. So like when you hit on something, but you don't hit on it with let's say I'm trying not to, you know, put words in your mouth again, but when you hit with a lens of, you know, like, well, this is what's happening, but here's what I got from it, but this is what's happening. But when we look at it, white people are also being affected, but no one's saying white people aren't being affected. It's just that right now in this time, y'all not being affected like we're being affected, and we want some support, that's all, in what we're being affected with. So just with that, it comes, yeah, with the post, like where are you getting at? Where is your support? Because understand what's happening, so that type of thing.
As like we said, I have a completely different worldview, so that changes how I view things. I don't view it as, like, I view it as everyone is the same and equal, regardless of your skin color. So if a white person is getting shot and killed by a cop, that's completely wrong. Do I think there's something wrong with the system? Absolutely. Do I think it needs to be changed? Absolutely. But there is no way it's actually going to be changed without working together. And that was the entire point of it. Everyone wants to say that it's only a certain race. It's only black. It's only this, which in reality, it's not. And so, yes, black people have faced, as a whole, have faced prejudice and systematic oppression. Granted, you cannot argue that whatsoever under any circumstances. But at the same time, this whole issue is not going to be set forth or set right without working together towards a common goal. And people aren't doing that. That's what's going
on. Goal is then? What is, because I have a goal and I think you have a goal. So what should that common goal be? If I have a goal right now, my goal is to bring awareness. This whole point of what I'm doing right now, people ask me like, well, why would you get on live with them? My whole goal is to bring awareness to what's happening in the African American community right now. Regardless of who I'm talking to, I think it's important that we have conversations like this. So if my goal is to allow the world to know that this is what's happening to us, this cannot continue to happen, what is your goal not having the same goal as me?
Dude, I wouldn't say that we don't have the same goal, in the sense that when you're sitting here talking about it, that not having the same goal would mean I want to sit here and watch people like George Floyd, and I want to sit here and watch as black people, my black brothers and sisters, just like yourself, just like my cousin, who's a black female. I want to sit. It's acting like I want to sit there and watch that. I don't. In no way, shape, or form do I think it's okay. And I think the misconception is that because I speak out for the fact there are other people suffering similar things, that our common goal should be working towards everyone having the same equal rights and facing the system together and not separated. Because we can say,
that together, well, I'm sorry, but that together and that same equal rights, it just doesn't go together right now. Because I see what you're saying. I feel that. But your together and equal rights has been split for so long that y'all are over here and we're back here. So now I think the goal is to get us up there, because it's something as simple as, like I asked you the question earlier, do you think white privilege is a thing? Do you think white privilege is a thing? Because of that, white people can get a job that my dad has his doctorate. He has his EDU. But I've seen my dad go into things that he deserved that job, but someone who didn't even have their doctorate got it just because of the fact that, okay, well, I think this man can do a better job than this man. Or it's something as simple as, how tall are you, Harrison?
I'm 6'4".
You're 6'4". I'm 5'7". So without even, just straight up, if we go to the basketball court right now and we're picking teams, someone is going to pick you before they pick me because you're 6'4" and I'm 5'7", despite the fact that I got handles. Despite all that, they haven't even seen that. But because of what you look like, they're going to pick you before they pick me.
No, okay, so people are saying, a lot of people said that I didn't believe in white privilege at all. And here's the thing. Here's what I want to say about white privilege. So, yes, I believe in the fact that white privilege exists. It absolutely. But do I believe that every single white person has white privilege? Absolutely not. Because at the day, I'm going to give you an example of exactly what happened to me. Okay? Now, there's different scholars. Everybody has a different experience, and therefore that changes their opinion. Okay. So, for me, my opinion comes from the fact that when I go up for scholarships, or when I go, I'm going to give you real talk here, bro. When I went up for a job, I know who got hired instead of me. We're similar ages, similar everything, but they hired him because he was black.
Okay. What was the job? May I ask that? What was the job? Just out of curiosity.
No, okay. So when I applied for a lifeguarding job with the YMCA, I got my lifeguarding line and that type of thing, which is I didn't get it, but whatever. And there's two other instances I want to talk about. When I went up for the Air Force ROTC scholarship, there were several different things and reasons why I couldn't get it. Okay, but there's I had high credentials. I mean, I had a 30 on my ACT, 3.7 GPA, unweighted, that type of thing. And a person got the scholarship instead of me with a 24 on their ACT and a 3.2 GPA. I know they got it because they told me. And I'm not going to say their name because they asked me not to. But at the end of the day, they got it because of the color of their skin. So how to me is that fair? And in a lot of jobs today, especially state jobs, if you and I have the same exact credentials or even similar, they have to choose you as a black man.
I don't know. I can't agree with you on that one. Now we was going back and forth, but on that one, I got to say no because I just no, I can't even because I'm trying to formulate the words to say and have a response to that because I understand what you could think like that, you could understand that, but that doesn't the equivalence or just doesn't. It's not on the same level. It's not, bro. Nothing. It doesn't match up because. First of all, a lifeguard is not a president. I'm going to just go ahead and say that. We can think about it like that. Lifeguard isn't a president. And our president right now, and that was actually another question I wanted to ask you, but I'll go back to that because of the comment you made about our president. But our president right now has done things to people like me for reasons that I can't even understand. So for us to say that, like, okay, well, I think that white privilege does exist, but all white people don't have that privilege. It doesn't happen like that because it can't happen like that because it wouldn't be fair. Then you can't say white privilege exists at all. Like it's there because of not so much how much you worked for it or how much you done, but that's the whole thing about it. Your skin color. Your skin color is what makes it, not what's up here. So that's why it's called white privilege because you are white. But besides that, I think
white, and that's the reason I should get the job, or that's the reason I should get this type of thing. I'm just giving a personal example. I'm sure there's hundreds of examples of it out there, and probably hundreds of examples coming from your perspective. But what I'm saying is, if I didn't get it, or he didn't get it, the issue is that people have to it's an actual law. You can go look it up yourself. But with state jobs, the state is federally mandated to reach certain racial percentages. Like colleges and that type of thing, they meet certain racial percentages.
Yeah, I'm in one right now. I'm the black quota. Yeah, so I see what you're saying because I go to an all-white school. But the reason I felt your post is because even though I go to an all-white school, I live in Birmingham. I live right next to an all-black school. I go to church with. So like I go to the basketball games, I go to the football games. My school doesn't have basketball, football, none of that. My school is an art school, and so I can.
Example of racism in itself, but what I like, it's a perfect example of like how the school systems work. That's a perfect example of racism. I'm not denying racism at all. What I'm denying and what I'm saying is that in order to get through all of this, I'm not denying that you're bad. Like as a black man, you have a lot harder time than I do as a white man, in no way, shape, or form. But you're also given the same opportunities. Things are made harder for you, but you're given the same opportunities. Does that make any sense? You still have the opportunity at an education, but it may not be an opportunity to go to at
you get, or the education that is not going to be the same that we're both receiving because of what I do. But if that's the case, and what do we do, Harrison, then to not have a problem like this again? Because ultimately the whole thing of right now is I'm trying to get an understanding of someone else who isn't like me, so we don't go through this again. So what would that be like as we talk about this, as we talk about everything that is going on in the world? How do we get out of it?
ultimately, man, like we talked about before, personally, like in our private conversations, which I don't know if you want me to bring out, but when it all comes down to it, you are a man,
Mm-hmm.
and in God's eyes, we are all the same. He didn't just like we can say that as Christians, and a lot of people won't take that argument because at the same time, but you and I have a very different perspective on things because we see it as God's children. That's how I see people. When it comes to when somebody is dying, it hurts, regardless of who they are. But the misconception is that it only happens to blacks, and that's not true. And that was what my platform and what I was trying to say is that in the reality, everyone wants to make it as it's only a black issue. And what I'm trying to say is in order to fix the black issue or the issue with the black community and them being targeted by police officers in that instance, the reason and the way to fix that is by working together because it's not just a certain group of people. The system is failing us, not necessarily the people. And we can't sit here and say every cop is bad because you, as a black man, stereotyped, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. You walk into a restaurant, you're probably stereotyped, right? Well, that's
When
because of the you.
Yeah.
And so the thing goes for white people. Not all whites are villains. Not all cops are bad. And so essentially, we can't. I'm not discounting whatsoever anyone's right to say that my life matters. Absolutely. But at the same time, me speaking out on my platform should not be an example of why some people should show up at my house, threaten to kill me, threaten to kill my family. Dude, everyone has a right to speak out. They have a right to the First Amendment. So despite how you feel, like how you felt about me, I would never in a million years sit here and say the things that have been said to me that say to you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I understand you, and I understand where you're coming from. That's a reason I reached out. And I had a conversation with I call her my mentor. Her name is Shelby Tillwell. She's white. She's the person who got me like all the way together, from introducing me to Christ, to getting me baptized, to like giving me my voice, allowing me to speak. Like, she's the person. She's white, all right? So I call her. Call her this morning. Well, she calls me this morning. We talk, and one of the questions I asked her was simply, why would she like, when I say it like this, you're gonna be like, you hopefully you understand, but when you talk about God like that, and I feel you, but at this time it's like some people think, well, okay, well, your God can't be my God can't be that guy, my God, my God wouldn't do that, he wouldn't do that, he wouldn't do this. And I asked her, I was like, why would people think like that? Like, I can't understand why someone that I don't even know, but I love at the end of the day, because that's what the word says love everyone. I was like, I don't understand how I can go and, like, want to forgive them. I want to have a conversation with them, but the world that we live in today has allowed us to be so separated that we can't come to a common understanding. We can't come to a common, thing to work towards something, because everybody's opinion, everybody's mindset is so far away from each other.
Yeah, no, I agree. But I'm gonna just say this, dude. Us sitting here right now, and talking about it and not being upset with each other is clearly pissing a lot of people off.
Of course, that's
And
definitely.
and that's okay. We have difference of opinions. I'm not going to say whether either way if how you're right or wrong. You have a right to your opinion. You have a right to speak out. Now, I'm seeing a lot of people saying that speaking out doesn't like you should be available ready for the backlash.
Yeah.
And granted, I can accept that people, if you were to speak out and there was backlash, but when it comes down to threatening my home, my family, my future, my job, I'm about to lose my job. I'm actually, when it comes to, I'm worried about my future. So people want to mess with that over the fact that they can't handle someone else's opinion.
Yeah.
And people want me to apologize for having an opinion as me, when in reality I have my First Amendment right to speak out.
You do. You got your right. Hey, you got your right to speak. Just like we have our right to speak, we have our right to protest, we have our right to do everything. So I understand you. You got your right to speak. You got your right to use your voice. I want you, my thing to you right now, and that I beg of you, because like I said, I do love you. I want you to be careful, bro. I want you to think more clearly and really sit back and be like, okay, like what I'm saying, am I getting my full story? Am I giving it a one-sided focus? Am I giving it a multi-side? Like, am I thinking about it in everyone's perspective, or am I just thinking about it out of the perspective that I have? Like, I need you to be more careful. I need you to be more conscious, because the world we live in today, sadly, is just like that where people will attack you, people will come at you, despite you have your reasons. You have your reasons, just like I have my reasons. And just like President Trump is tear gassing protesters that were peacefully protesting, that had a right to be there, well, they had backlash too. So I feel you. I understand what you're saying. I got some questions that I'm gonna stay on and answer, and that I'm gonna bring on some other people. Like Terrence Foster is gonna come in right after you,
Okay.
and I'm gonna talk to Terrence, and we gonna get some more conversation going, and whoever else wants to join in after Terrence. And so I appreciate you though, for real. I do appreciate you, and I do appreciate you allowing me to like put you on blast right here and talk to you, but allowing us to have something to talk about. So I do appreciate that.
Down to it, I may be a conservative white male, and you may be whatever your opinions are on things. At the end of the day, like I said, we are God's children, bro. We are all working towards the same goal, regardless if we have different views on how it should be done. I truly care about you. I truly understand what you face as a black man, how you have faced the certain things that you have. I'm not discounting that at all. My entire point behind everything I'm saying is that when we take it into perspective, we got to look at everybody, man. And honestly, we can't move forward and fix the system without being together. And that's ultimately what I'm trying to say. So people can misconstrue it and say it however they want to. They can hate my methods. They don't like how I speak, that type of thing. I could care less, because at the end of the day, it's not how it goes, man. Because you and I, we have a similar aspect in the site that we want everybody's people to have a voice. So,
yeah, true facts. Look, I appreciate you though, for real. Terrence, you go ahead and request. Harrison, congrats on your graduation. Everything, despite everything going on, I want to tell you that. I want to tell you, bruh, stay safe, keep your head up, and all of that. So, I'ma see. Let me see. Oh shoot, I don't even know how to work this live, y'all. So let me see.
how do you get
Before
out? Oh,
I add
I'm gonna.
Terrence, I'm pretty sure you can't add three. Hold on, how do I do this? Okay, there I go.